Hi, this is Faye Sykes with Social Security Benefit Planners, and we are here to help you retire better. Today, we're going to talk about not so much on Social Security, but on senior scams. Since we do work with so many retirees and folks that are getting ready to retire, we just wanted to really highlight this topic about senior scams. So, I recently did this talk for a gerontology convention out in Anaheim, California, and really decided that this would be valuable information to share with everybody. So first thing is that, the age 60 tends to be the age that the brain makes us a little bit more trusting. People over 60 tend to be 2 times as likely to believe something even when the information does not sound correct. And 2/3 of all scams are over the age of 56. So what we really want to do is to help alleviate some of this and, help a parent, a neighbor, or even yourself in the future. 40% of Americans are worried that their parents might be a victim of scammers, but only 1 in 5 actually sit down and chat with them about some of the things to be aware and alert of. So we're going to go through a few different things to keep in mind. One is, and this will start with Social Security, but the Social Security scam, and a lot of these are on the Federal Trade Commission website. So if you want to get further information. But the Social Security scam is where somebody calls and says, hey, your banking information was lost in our system, and we need to update that so that you can continue on getting your checks. Here's the thing, with Social Security and the IRS, they are never going to call you directly to verify any information. They are going to mail you a physical letter in the mail. So, the thing is that if somebody's calling you from Social Security or IRS or some government entity, you're going to get a letter in the mail. Hang up, call, and we've got Social Security number is 800-772-1213. Call them directly or call the IRS directly and verify that they actually need this information. The next thing is the cold call. This is where somebody's calling and saying, hey, you purchased this online, and they might, lie and say they're AT&T, they're Comcast, they're your bank, whatever. But if somebody starts requesting information like your Social Security number, passwords, PIN numbers, credit card information, those are things that you need to go, nope, this doesn't smell right. I need to, kind of get away from that. So a couple tips that we would, recommend for folks to consider is for you or somebody is to help block unwanted calls by adding them to the www.donotcall.gov, donotcall.gov, which basically you can put different phone numbers on there to block unwanted calls. And then second is if somebody's requesting information, like PIN, pass, banking information, do not give it out. Call the bank, call Social Security, call Comcast and verify that this is information that they actually need. Next is the door-to-door imposter. This is potentially, and there's some people that are legitimate folks, but there's a lot of people that prey on people. They know that they're at home. They might be lonely. They might have some hearing impairments, dementia, Alzheimer's, who knows. But the thing is that they come and they're trying to persuade to get access to your home, which might get access to you in a physical harmful way or a financial harmful way. So a couple tips that we have is that one is put a chain on. If you have a chain on the door, use it. If you have a parent or a neighbor or even for yourself and you don't have one, this is a pretty low expenditure to add for your safety. And number 2 would be is to ask for ID for anyone that is coming to the door. Next, we're going to just touch on online shopping fraud. The average amount that a person loses to this is $300. That's a lot of money. And you think if they scam 100 or 10 or 1,000 or whoever, a lot of folks, it really adds up. So there's the, when you do shop online, consider just using a credit card and not a debit card. Although they kind of look the same, they feel the same, your protection for online shopping fraud is different. Now, a tip that we have is to actually take your cursor and hover over the hyperlink to make sure that it's who they actually say. Does it say Amazon.eu or some, it's not the real website. And again, try to pay everything by credit card instead of debit card. Next is the junk mail prize. So this could be fake foreign lotteries, extended car warranties, free trial offers, advanced loan fees, credit card protection, travel packages, prize drawings, clairvoyance, and pyramid schemes. Just to kind of give you an idea, $82 billion has been lost to date on Nigerian prize draws and investment scams. That's a lot of money. 82B with a B as in boy, billion has been lost. So, if something looks too good to be true, I would really recommend one of our tips is investing in a shredder. If it's got any, information that's personal to you, but just don't respond. Again, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably, or it could be a scam. So there's two things that you can do to help limit these kind of mailers and things like that. One is to permanently, or for 5 years, they give you two options for credit and insurance solicitation. We're gonna, you can go to www.opt, O-P-T, out, O-U-T, prescreen, prescreen.com, and you're gonna have the option of 5 years to opt out for the credit insurance or forever. Number two is for the Direct Marketing Association, DMA. Their website is www.dmachoice.org. Now, there's a small cost for this. It's a $2 fee, but it'll opt you out for 10 years. Now, the next thing is robocalls. I don't know about you, but I've been getting a ton more robocalls than I have in the past. A lot of times they'll have like press 1 to opt out. Here's the deal. Do not press 1, just hang up. Because when you hit 1, that verifies that a human being answered that phone. And guess what? You're gonna, the potential of you getting more robocalls is just gonna go up. So if a robocall, hang up. And the last thing is, if you're having issues in any of these areas, I would call the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, at 888-382-1222 to report an issue. Next, we're going to talk about is, I know love is in the air. There's a lot of folks that go on online dating, but there's a lot of catfish out there. And when we talk, catfish are bad. We do not like catfish. So here's the deal. 63% of online dating fraud victims are female. And there's a couple things that will happen is that they want your email address. They don't want to talk on the phone. They're always on the move like, oh, I'm traveling, I'm an oil rig guy, or I'm a construction guy, or I'm, one thing or another, but they're not available. They're traveling. They can't see you because their business or their work travel is taking them out of town. Number 3 is that their profile will have tons of typing errors. They're not spelling things correctly. Maybe they're not capitalizing things, but it's just not a very professional. They might say like, oh, English is my second language. I'm European or whatever. And again, I'm not going to say that everybody is a catfish, but these are things just to kind of keep aware. Number 4 is that they get serious way too quickly. You haven't met, you have not talked on the phone, they want to email you or whatever, and all of a sudden they're telling you that they love you and they want to spend the rest of their life with you, and they're going in extensively on your future life together. And then the last thing is they start asking you for money. So here's the deal. You don't ever want to give money or credit card information to somebody that you do not know and you have not met. This is key because they can, do some song and dances on how they're stuck, their credit card was stolen, they lost their money, they bought a fake, airline ticket, they got, that they were scammed in some way. Well, here's the deal. You're the one that they're going to be looking at scamming. So if you know somebody that's like, for either yourself or somebody else, have somebody kind of look at it and see, are they refusing to talk on the phone? Do they not want to meet in person? Are they traveling out of town? Do they want to email you? Those are things that are, considerations that it might be a catfish. And you can block them on the dating sites and alert them that you think this is a scam person. Number 2 is you can block on, email and phone and things of that nature, but you just want to protect yourself. And people have literally lost hundreds of thousands of dollars by, hopeful love, so to speak. So next we're going to talk about stolen identity. Now this is very, last year, I got a call from a fraud department that somebody was trying to open or had, applied to open up a credit card in my name, but a different mailing address. And I verified that it was not me, so they shut it down. They were not able to charge anything. But, it was very disconcerting to me is that they verified that this person had my full name, my social security, my birth date, like all of the pertinent information to be able to open up an account. So the number one thing I did was, first thing I did was to call all 3 of the credit agencies and to tell them that my identity had been compromised and asked them to put a fraud alert. Number 2 is I then went and filed a report right away with the local police department. And then you can also let the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, know that this happened. One of the things that you can really look at doing is to invest in a shredder. People throw a lot of very important information away with personal information, and somebody just needs to either go through the trash or, to the dump and find information, and it's very difficult. Once they get a hold of your credit, I've seen where people have bought cars, houses, credit cards. They can do a lot of damage, and it can take years to get this fixed. So again, contact police, let the 3 credit agencies know that there's fraud, and get a shredder. Next is the lottery winning. So you supposedly won a prize, but you have to pay a service or a fee for them to release the winnings. They estimate over 70,000 people have lost money this way. 70,000, that's insane. But people feel like, oh, I'm going to get this money. I'm getting, again, it sounds like it's too good to be true. It probably is. So make sure you do not give out any personal details. Do not give money. Do not give a credit card. Don't ever feel like you have to buy something to be entered into the lottery. One of the things that I would say is always look for spelling errors on the paperwork. Instead of Publishers Clearinghouse, is it Publickers, or it's spelled differently, Clearinghouse. So you just want to be aware of those. Next is the fake investment scheme. The Ponzi scheme, Bernie Madoff, to the fake Nigerian prince looking for help with an inheritance, complex financial products. In the investment world, typically with most companies, you're going to have a check made out to like Fidelity for your benefit of your name, or TD Ameritrade. You're really not writing checks out to ABC Financial Group, which my understanding was like Bernie Madoff. That's kind of what they did. He never actually invested any of the money. He just stole from Paul to pay Peter, and eventually it blew up for him. The other thing is that, when it comes to investments or pyramid schemes or any of this kind of stuff, if they guarantee you returns that just, oh, you're going to get a 14% return. Well, I would be very weary of that. I would be very weary if anybody says we guarantee you anything, or, you're going to get this. I actually had a client who had a couple relatives that had invested outside the country in Jamaica, and said that both these relatives had gotten really high returns. and she wanted to invest in it as well. And I said, I don't think so. This, it smells fishy. I wouldn't do it. Well, she went ahead on her own and did it. Well, guess what? She got a call from the FBI, lost out on her money, and so did her other 2 relatives. So when people feel very happy, like this is, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But, if somebody's really pressuring you to hand over money, tell them you want to think about it. If they don't really want you to think about it, I'd, put some concern into that. And, there's always tomorrow. So there's, we just covered a few, but there's the grandparent scam, fake prescriptions, reverse mortgage, fake accidents, funerals. There's many other ones out there, but, kind of going back to that, only 1 out of 5 people actually speak to a loved one about potential scams. Let's lower this, and let's not have 70,000 and 82 billion and all of these different things going out to people that haven't earned it. So here's a little list that I'm, going to go over it. So if you've been a victim, or somebody that's been a victim, it's really hard because a lot of people get embarrassed. So falling for a scam is something that most people don't want to admit to it. Scammers know this and use it to their advantage. But no one should have to, you should not have a reason to feel embarrassed. They're con artists. They're good. They know how to manipulate people. What we want to do is help save the next person from the same heartache. So places that you can contact are the Justice Department, your local police department. Now, if anything was related to your checking or debit card, you want to immediately call that financial institution or bank and have them change account numbers, PIN numbers, issue you new debit or credit cards, stop payment on checks, what have you. If you believe that your identity was compromised or your credit was compromised in any way, you do want to contact the 3 credit bureaus and freeze your credit. Let them know that there's been that fraud. The Social Security Administration, anybody calling about that or emailing you, they only mail a letter. Their number is 800-772-1213. I brought up the Federal Trade Commission. They do have a great website. Their phone number is 888-382-1222. And again, you can get a lot of great information from these different places. Your state attorney office, so let's say that it's more of a regional thing where a bunch of people like in your neighborhood, you can alert them. If you got a fake something from, let's say, a Comcast or an AT&T, let them know that you were solicited and that you think it was fake so that they can address it. They might have multiple other clients that are, having the same issue. Elder Care Locator, 800-677-1116. If you're needing some resources and assistance, this would be a great place to call and see if they can assist. We also have that, as we said earlier, the opt-out of direct marketing, which is www.optoutprescreen.com and www.dmachoice.org. And lastly, we've got the Do Not Call list, www.donotcall.gov. The other thing is just to make sure family and friends know that this situation's going on. Get support. Do not feel embarrassed, but there are a lot of people and agencies and resources out there that can assist. So I'm going to wrap it up here, but hopefully you got a couple tips on scams that are out there. Maybe you can help yourself. Maybe you can help a neighbor, a loved one, a parent, a grandparent. If you find this information valuable, I really would implore you to share it. Send it to somebody that might get some benefit out of it. If you've been a victim, don't be silent. Let people know. This is Faye Sykes, Social Security Benefit Planners, and we are here to help you retire better. Our email is info@socialsecuritybp.com, and our phone number is 877-270-7727. Have a great day.